Hello, hello. Welcome to Reading Time. My name's Time, and this week we're reading The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. Let's get to reading. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime is a novel about a boy named Christopher who tries to find out what happened to his neighbor's dog after he discovers that it has been killed. Along the way, other secrets are uncovered as Christopher investigates. Now, this book is not entirely a mystery novel, although the summary does make it sound like it is, because the major mystery of what happened to the dog is discovered in the first half of the book. But other mysteries are uncovered as well along the way. One other thing I should note and mention about the book is that Christopher, the narrator and main character of the story, is autistic. And so his narration style and the perspective that we get throughout the book is definitely one that we don't typically see in a lot of novels. For a rating for this book, I am going to definitely give it 5 stars. I was very pleasantly surprised with this book. The narration style is very intriguing, and I would say it's well done. And I really like books that can make me feel a variety of emotions, from laughing to tugging on my heartstrings, and this book definitely did both. Now, while I do recommend this book and while I thoroughly enjoyed it, there is a lot of content to be aware of with this book. For violence, there generally isn't a lot of violence, and most of the violence seen in the book is not actually described. Christopher does not like being touched, and as such, he lashes out physically when he is touched. This happens a few times in the book, and at one point he lashes out and attacks his dad, and his dad does hit him. This violent outburst happens once, and there is no indication that this is something that regularly happens. However, obviously, it is not okay to hit a child no matter how frustrated you are, even if they are in high school. Substance usage in this book is mostly limited to some adult characters drinking or being drunk. However, it is also mentioned that Christopher's next-door neighbors are drug addicts. For sexual content, there are no specific sexual encounters in the book. However, Christopher does mention sex multiple times, and some of the plotline does revolve around marital affairs. Now, the big content piece for this book, I would say, is actually language. There's quite a bit of profanity in this book, including a lot of F-bombs and words of that nature. This book is also British, so there are also British profanity terms as well. And this language is sprinkled throughout the book, and so I can't really say, oh, you just need to skip these chapters, as it is seen throughout. Because of all of this content, I am going to put it on the upper age range of 11th through 12th grade and up. Some other high school students may also do well with this sort of content, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it for younger than high school. In addition to the content, I also think that a discussion about Christopher's specific perspective is one that could be best discussed at a high school level. And speaking of that perspective, the narration style of this book is really what made me enjoy it the most. If you were to teach this, it could definitely be a good example of unreliable narration. Not to say that Christopher, the character himself, is being misleading in any way. In fact, we have a whole chapter dedicated to why he does not lie. But unreliable narration can also just mean that his perspective is limited or skewed, or just shouldn't be relied upon for completely 100% accurate information. Christopher's narration style could also be discussed further by taking a look at the book itself and its structure. So if we take a look at the book, it's set up very interestingly because we start off with chapter 2. And the book progresses going on to chapter 3. And as you can see, there's different symbols in the book. We go on to 5, 7, 11, and all of these chapter numbers are really just prime numbers. And that is also something that Christopher talks about in his book. He includes plenty of diagrams to better explain what he's talking about. And this is also seen throughout the book. So the narration style is not just limited to his diction and syntax, with his very matter-of-fact and straightforward style of narration, but we also see it in the book style itself with the chapter numbers and the images seen throughout the book. So once again, definitely a 5 out of 5 star book. I really enjoyed it. If you are someone who is sensitive to language and other content, though, it may not be a book for you. For our poster square for this week, it is right here, kind of near the middle, and it's a little hard to see, but it's a picture of a dog, the outline of a dog at least, with a gardening fork in it. And that has reference to the incident at the beginning of the book involving the dog in the nighttime. If you have read this book, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and if you have any book recommendations. If you are not already, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Facebook or Instagram for updates about what I am reading. And as always, have a marvelous week and a wonderful read.